We all have questions. We all need answers. It is on this program that we get our answers from the Bible. It's time to Ask the Preacher with Reverend Carl Gallups of Hickory Hammock Baptist Church in Milton, Florida. Welcome to another edition of Ask the Preacher. I'm your host, Mike Bates. With me in the studio, as he is every week, is the pastor of Hickory Hammock Baptist Church in Milton, Florida, Reverend Carl Gallups. Welcome, Carl.
Thank you, Mike. It's always my pleasure to be here. I always have a great time doing the shows.
Oh, I enjoy these programs myself. I've got a question for you today. I actually have 4 questions for you today.
Oh, okay.
The umbrella question is sort of, why are there so many religions in the world? I mean, Muslim, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhist, Hindu, Shinto. I mean, there are all these different religions in the world, and there's a lot more than the ones that I just mentioned. The several questions I have, why are there so many religions in the world? Why are there so many denominations even within religions? Which is the real religion? Which, as a Baptist preacher, my assumption is you're going to tell me that Christianity is the real religion. But if Christianity is the real religion, why are there so many differing denominations within Christianity?
And how do you know which one of those denominations is the right one, I guess you would ask. Yeah.
So kind of a bunch of questions, but
yeah.
We'll start, I guess, at the top, and that is, why are there so many different religions in the world?
Okay. Well, there's a philosophical and a biblical and a human answer, and the three go together. The philosophical/biblical answer is this. There are so many religions in the world because man as a being is a religious being. Now, the Bible speaks to this, and I'm sure other religious books speak to it too, but we know from human experience, sociologists tell us that every culture on the face of the earth worships. Every culture. Now, there are some atheists and agnostics. I think the statistics are less than 2% of the entire world population claims to be atheist or agnostic, but be that as it may, the vast majority and almost the totality of individual human beings and every culture has some form of worship. Now, as a Christian, of course, I don't believe they all worship in truth, but that's not the question right now. The question is, why is there this need for religion? Why are there so many religions in the world? So, number one, we are religious beings. It's a human experience. And the Bible says that God, who created us with the need to seek Him, to relationship with Him, to know Him, if you will, in a cute little way. He put a great big old hole in the middle of our heart that's shaped like Him. So every human tries to fill that hole. All right, now, because that is a part of human nature and human experience, Mike, then, of course, God has provided the real way to fill the hole, but so has man. And I will go ahead and say, as a Christian, I believe, and Satan has had his hand in it too. So has Satan. And so the religious void has been filled by men and the world and Satan with systems. And these systems are designed, some of them are probably rather innocently designed to just fill a religious void. Many of them are designed to bilk people out of their money and their lives and out of their power, and so they can be enslaved, etc., cultish type things. So these systems are designed by man and by Satan to fill that void. Now, I happen to believe that the satanic spiritual influence of all of the false religions is very real, because they are then designed at the ultimate level, the ultimate spiritual level by Satan, to pull us away from the one truth. The truth of who is God and who we are and how we relate to Him and how He has chosen to fill that empty place in our heart that He created us with. So that's what I believe as to why there are so many religious systems. Now, sociologists tell us that there are about, believe it or not, Mike, you name 5 or 6, about 2,000 variations of religious systems in the world. Now, that's fascinating, because the next statistic I'm going to give you is the mind-boggling one to me. Out of the 2,000 religious variations, there are only 3 or 4, out of 2,000, now think of it, that are based upon a personality. A person who is presented as the ultimate way to follow. The rest of the 1,900 and, 92 systems are based upon philosophies and rules and regulations and systems of goodness. Okay, so when you boil it down now and separate out these 3 or 4 very unique ones that are based upon personalities, like Buddha, Muhammad, Allah, Jesus, Moses, Abraham, I just named Islam, Christianity, and Judaism and Buddhism, for example. If you separate out these 3 or 4, I think Confucianism would be another one. So 3 or 4 or 5 out of 2,000 that are based upon a personality. Then you look at those. Those are very unique. All right, all the others are based upon systems. Follow our system. Go through our steps. Do our things. And you will make it to a higher plane of existence, whatever that is. But forget those right now. And let's look at these unique ones, these 4 or 5 that are based upon personalities. Well, when you get to examining them, there's only one that's based upon the personality of a human being who said, I am God in the flesh with you. To prove this, I will do things that only a God-man could do. I will stop the wind. I will feed 10,000 with a few loaves of bread fish. I will raise the dead. I will heal the blind. I will heal the lame. I will cause the deaf to hear. I will do things before your eyes for 3 solid years, before tens of thousands of witnesses, that only a God-man could do, that no one else has ever done and no one else will ever do. I will do them for you to prove that I'm God, and then to further prove that I'm God, I will die for you, because that's the message of the Old Testament, that God himself would take our sin upon us. He said, I will take that sin. I will become your sin offering sacrifice. And then to further prove that I'm not just a religious nut making these claims and some magician with a magic show, he says, I will rise from the dead after you have seen me indisputably dead. And I will wait 3 days, and I'm telling you 3 years in advance. And on the 3rd day, I will rise from the dead, and I will present myself alive to hundreds and hundreds of you for 40 days. I will do all of this. Then you will know that I am God, and beside me there is no other. Then you will know, Jesus said, that I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man comes to the Father but by me. So you take 2,000 religious systems, and basically 1,993 of them are based upon systems and rules and regulations, and follow our system and you'll make it. 4 or 5 of them are based upon personalities, but only one of them is based uniquely upon this claim that God has visited us in the flesh and proved it over and over in many different ways, indisputably. For 2,000 years, the claims of Jesus have been disputed by people much smarter than you and I put together, trying to figure out a way to find that he was a liar or a fraud or a cheat. And not only for 2,000 years, all of the money and technology you could imagine has been thrown at trying to prove that his claims were not real. Why him? Why haven't people tried to prove that Muhammad's claims were not real, or that Buddha's claims were not real to this extent? Because they didn't make claims anywhere near like Jesus made. His claims are absolutely astounding, Mike. He claimed that you couldn't be saved without him. He claimed that he was God with us. He claimed that he would rise from the grave, that he would go to a cross, that he would heal the blind, that he would raise the dead. He made claims that no other human being of any religious system has ever made. He made them. And so, for 2,000 years, people have been trying to grasp some little straw that would prove that his claim was false, and no one has ever been able to do it. As a matter of fact, the farther people dig into archaeology or historical records or historical context, what they discover is that his claims are verifiable. And so, why are there so many religious systems in the world? Well, that's the answer, because God has created us to seek him. Therefore, we are religious beings, and Satan will intervene in that. Wicked men will intervene in that. If you want a religion, you can find one. We're like fish in a barrel, if you will, and the ultimate fisherman who wants to destroy us, Satan, will throw any lure that he thinks will catch the fish. But the Word of God says, out of all the religious systems in the world, there's only one And God has made it so clear as to which one it is. It is so unique, it is so different, it is so far above every other religious system and claim in the world that it cannot be ignored. And that is the religion, if you will allow me to call Christianity a religion, of Christianity. Now, the reason I say that is because I don't call Christianity a religion. I call it the true relationship with God. And it's not meant to be religious in the sense of a bunch of rules and regulations. It's meant to be a relationship with a God who created us. So that answers the first question. Actually, it answers a couple questions. That is, why are there so many religions in the world? And then number two, and out of those religions, which one is the correct religion? Well, I've answered both of them. That's why there's so many religions in the world. And in my humble opinion, based upon all these facts, the correct religion, if you will, is Christianity, the unique one of all of the world.
And even then, within Christianity, you've got Catholic, Baptist, Methodist, Lutheran,
Lutherans, and
Episcopal, Eastern
and
Orthodox,
different flavors of all of those.
Mormon, Presbyterian, Jehovah's Witness, Church of Christ, Assembly of God. I mean, we could go on
and on and on. Yeah,
the Church of Joe. Joe down the street
Joe
who opened his own church.
Opened his own street and says, "Here, come here."
He uses the Holy Bible.
That's right.
It's a Christian church, but it's the denomination of Joe.
Right.
It's Pastor Joe, and he's not affiliated with any other organization. So there's countless denominations within Christianity. We're going to take our break a little bit early so that the answer to that doesn't have to be interrupted by a break.
Good.
But when we do get back from the break, I'd love to discuss why there are so many denominations within the true religion, Christianity, why they exist, and I'll even sort of put you on the spot, but I think I know what your answer is going to be, and that's which is the right one.
Which is the right denomination. Gee, ask a Baptist preacher which the right denomination. Actually, my answer is probably going to surprise you and the listeners.
Well, I look forward to hearing it. We will ask that question of Carl Gallups when Ask the Preacher continues.